On this edition of Southern Newsweek, a Dunedin pig and poultry farmer claims he'll be culling around 1,000 chickens following new animal welfare regulations. South Island airports receive new fire trucks, however Dunedin has run into sizing issues. And Queenstown's new marina officially opens on Lake Whakatipu and will feature a range of new businesses. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. A Dunedin pig and poultry farmer is racing to try and find new homes for thousands of hens. Bloom Farm has run out of time to meet new animal welfare standards and may shut up shop after 50 years.
Egg farmer Peter Bloom holding one of his brown shaver laying hens, which he claims he can no longer care for. A 2012 change in the Animal Welfare Code requires the phase-out of individual cages in favour of barn-raised, free-range or colony-caged eggs by the end of 2022. Bloom insists he's been trying unsuccessfully to upgrade the farm's cages to colony-style production since 2018.
We were dealing with COVID all that time as well, and I was told that the Italian factory had closed down because they had no staff, they had no materials.
With the animal welfare deadline now looming, Bloom's hoping to avoid culling his birds.
We're starting on the older birds now, and there's a few younger hens sold. But we've had a terrific response really from the public.
New welfare guidelines for pigs are also under discussion, and Bloom suggests he may decide to close the farm for good. While Bloom says that more than 1,000 birds have been taken, he's still searching for new homes for around 2,500 hens. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The National Dive Squad has recovered a body from Lake Wanaka a day after a man went missing. Korean national Mark Park was last seen heading into the water before a body was found last Friday.
National Dive Squad members were seen next to Lake Wanaka earlier today following the discovery of a body. The squad and Wanaka Lake's Coast Guard volunteers found a body around 1:30 this afternoon after searching for 30 minutes. It follows last night's recovery efforts by the Coast Guard and members of the public who searched for Korean national Mark Park. Park was reported missing yesterday evening around 7 after he was seen heading into the water and didn't resurface. Park's family members have flown to Wanaka and were seen on the lake shores this morning. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Dunedin is one of 4 South Island airports to commission new firefighting trucks this week. The shiny yellow vehicles represent the state-of-the-art in firefighting technology, although parking them may be a problem.
Meet Gordy, the brand new fire truck at Dunedin Airport. It's one of 4 key airports across the South Island which joined together to buy the new vehicles. The state-of-the-art appliance is powered by a massive 16-litre engine and can pump almost 10,000 litres of water in a minute. The airport's fire crew very happy to be replacing their old equipment.
Just like getting a new car, new toys. Firemen love getting new stuff, so having a new appliance is, it's just really cool.
The 11.5 metre long truck is currently parked up in a hangar while the fire station gets renovated.
These are a lot bigger than the current ones we have, so we're having to extend the fire station. So that work is underway at the moment.
Despite the enormous size, the new trucks have been designed to legally drive on the roads, which has a big advantage.
It effectively adds to the capability of the city of Dunedin to respond to various forms of emergency.
The team at Queenstown Airport also received their new truck this week. The head of Queenstown's emergency crew says the timing of the critical upgrade couldn't be better.
Flights have come back strongly and visitors have come back strongly, so part of the overall investment into the AES team is to ensure that the flying public are safe when they come to Queenstown Airport.
Invercargill completed the Southern List, commissioning their new truck with a karakia blessing by a representative of the local runanga. Across the South Today.
The SPCA is caring for more Canterbury animals than any other region in the country. They're desperately hoping to find homes for their creatures, great and small, but especially for some of their larger ones.
Meet Gilderoy Lockhart, a horse in need of a new home. He's named after a vain Harry Potter character, and just like his namesake, he sports a dashing hairdo. The Christchurch SPCA cares for more than 30 horses like Gilderoy and looks after more animals than almost any other region.
And I think that's probably because we have quite a range down here. As you can see, it's not just cats and dogs. We've got fish, we've got rabbits, heaps of horses, goats, you name it. So we've got a really wide range of species of animals that the community are helping us to look after.
The organisation believes building growth has led to more horses in need of a home.
Might be harder to find grazing at the moment than it once was, with all the subdevelopments going out in, those smaller little suburbs around the outside of Canterbury.
The SPCA is grateful for their many volunteers like Dawn Bella. Bella currently cares for Gilderoy and Julia on her Darfield property and says it's helped her as well as helping the organisation.
I got bowel cancer a while ago, and I was very lucky that people helped me out looking after my animals when I couldn't, and so it's just kind of my way to give back a little.
While the SPCA feels all animals deserve a home, Cairns is reminding would-be owners it's a lifelong commitment. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Queenstown's new marina has officially opened on Lake Whakatipu, and developers say spots are being snapped up fast.
Colourful floating commercial cabins awaiting tenants at the newly opened Queenstown Marina. Designed to complement berthing space for 85 boats, the cabins will soon host a gallery, floating cafe and burger bar. The project developers say the response to the new facilities has been great.
It's exciting, not just for us, the company, it's exciting for the community. And I think the biggest kick anybody gets out of it is that people are impressed with it. So that's better than any financial gain, that positivity that comes through from the community.
Demand for berthing space has also been brisk, and the developers say a second stage is ready to roll out soon, doubling the marina's capacity. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Otago University staff are doing their bit to give back to the community. One department is using their green fingers to lend a local food bank a helping hand.
Tending to the wide variety of vegetables growing in the Otago University greenhouse. The university's Paul Guy and Susan McKenzie are getting stuck into some gardening, growing food for the St Vincent de Paul Food Bank. After seeing the rising prices of fruit and veg, they knew they had to take action.
Went up and talked to the food bank and they said, yes please. They told us that every day of the week they get requests for food from needy families.
They're growing a wide range of vegetables with their gardening tools and seeds donated by the public. Guy's hoping their efforts will encourage others to follow in their footsteps.
Go and talk to your local food bank because I'm pretty sure they can use your excess. There's a lot of families who need help at the moment and it's not that hard to do it.
They are currently growing a couple of kilograms of produce a week. Weather depending, they are hoping to substantially increase those numbers over the summer. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on this edition of Southern Newsweek, Christmas arrives in the south, the Southland Santa Parade floating through Invercargill's city streets, and a Milton butchery embraces the past, the building turning back in time to the 1930s. Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Christmas season has come early for Invercargill as the floats and tinsel were out for all to see. The Southland Santa Parade kicked off festivities last weekend with a certain special someone stopping by.
Children eagerly waiting for a glimpse of the man himself. Thousands lined up along Invercargill city streets in the weekend, watching the Southland Santa Parade float by. There were some familiar faces, as well as those with a musical flair. The event kick-starting the South's festive season.
To celebrate our community as well, because our community is quite diverse and we have all sorts of people here, young and old and different ethnicities. It's just fantastic to see our whole community together in one event.
Invercargill Mayor Nobby Clark believes the meaning of Christmas has changed over the years, but it's still about bringing joy.
It's not a religious thing anymore around Christmas. It's just a matter of the different people in the group getting out and having a bit of fun.
While there were many vying to be the star of the show, it was St. Nicholas who people were really waiting for. Santa dropping by for the event before he makes his way to other parades across New Zealand in the coming weeks. In Invercargill, the South Today.
The Christmas spirit was also felt up north. The popular Christmas experience in Shands Road started to light up Christchurch suburbs last Saturday, around the same time as North Hagley Park hosted the annual Christmas in the Park concert.
It's back, bigger and better than ever. Tens of thousands of Cantabrians flock to the Shands Road property in Prebbleton each year to be part of the interactive Christmas experience. And for 2022, the colourful festive light show has expanded into the neighbouring paddock, effectively doubling the display space available.
I wanted to create a little Christmas village, but the idea sort of got away on me a wee bit.
The recently engaged couple have spent the last year working to get their whimsical wonderland ready.
I've always loved Christmas, and this is just the icing on the cake. And to be with someone that I love and adore, and we work well together. We're a great team.
She knows how to boss me around.
There's plenty of fresh features for regular visitors, with the popular attraction featuring dozens of colourful new lighting designs and animated carnival displays, all choreographed to rock music. The Seawards say the Christmas light show has grown to become the biggest interactive display of its type in Australasia, but they have no plans to stop expanding.
What we've built, we're only halfway through. So what's here this year for everyone to enjoy is only half of what is going to be completed by next Christmas.
The Shands Road Christmas experience switches on this Saturday night and is due to continue each evening for the rest of the year. In Selwyn, the South Today.
An old school replica abattoir has been built on the outskirts of Milton. It'll double up as a museum so people can see what a 1930s butchery was like, with the building also paying homage to a special someone.
It's like walking through a time machine. That's the feeling Rex Spence wants to give customers when they visit his replica vintage butchery. Spence first had the idea 7 years ago, but started the project in 2020 following his wife's death. He named it R&J Butchery in memory of his wife Joyce, who always supported his passion for butchery.
But I always liked it, and all my memories as a kid, I loved going into the butcher shops.
The self-funded passion project is based off butcheries from the mid-1900s and is identical to shops Spence grew up around. He's aiming to bring back the experience he had when he was a kid.
Of course, the supermarkets took over all the meat selling and all that sort of stuff, but there does seem to be some butchers out there trying to come back with, some things, so that's good.
It will officially open at the Toko Mariro A&P show early next month. The goal is to add more historic buildings, with a heritage village planned for the future. In Milton, the South Today.
A group of Dunedin students have received national recognition for a short film they made in 48 hours. The trio from St Hilda's Collegiate School are tasting success for their piece, which embraces the supernatural.
Getting the lighting just right to get the perfect shot. These St Hilda Collegiate School students took home a top prize after winning Best School Entry in the 48-hour film festival. The trio were triumphant with their film No Indemnity, a black and white film written around their given genre, supernatural. This year's entry marks their fourth attempt at the competition, but it's their first time achieving national recognition.
It's quite thrilling. We've never had this much success before, and just because of the size of the group, it feels quite special.
The Year 13 students decided to make it a film noir satire after studying the genre in media studies this year. They took a relaxed approach to their film and relied heavily on their sense of humour, only scripting key scenes and improvising the rest.
We basically make films that we find funny, and whether other people find them funny or not, we find that out, I guess. Yeah.
They're trying to work out a way to still enter the competition next year, despite one of the members heading overseas. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A massive line formed down George Street last weekend after an iconic Kiwi company opened up shop. The new cookie bar had people flocking from all over Dunedin to come and try some of their sweet treats.
Guy, and so I now declare the Dunedin Cookie Bar open.
Dunedin Mayor Jules Raddick cutting the giant s'more cake, officially opening the Cookie Bar. The store's the creation of iconic Kiwi company Cookie Time and follows the success of the unique Queenstown and Tokyo interactive venues. The store opened its doors on Saturday, massive lines forming for the one-day sale, where their famous freak shakes were just $1. Along with the standard goodies at the other venues, the Dunedin store features an exclusive all-day breakfast menu, including American cereal snacks.
So we wanted to bring something to Dunedin that was new and exciting, fresh and energetic.
He says it's more than just a cafe. It's designed to be an interactive space with a live karaoke area where guests could even score themselves a free cookie. Pope Mail is hoping Dunedinites will embrace the venue.
So we hope to become part of the before match or after match, before concert or after concert go-to place.
The George Street Cookie Bar is the start of an expansion for the company, where they hope to roll out 5 more stores in the coming years. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A southern boutique women's gym has flexed its muscles, taking out a top nationwide industry award. Team Tash Dunedin Training Studio received praise last weekend. The studio's boss is stunned by the response of their peers.
Back at work after a winning weekend. Dunedin Training Studio owner Tash Columbus was pleasantly surprised at the weekend when her and her team's name was called out at the Exercise New Zealand Awards ceremony in Auckland.
This award is not about me at all, it's about the coaches and our members. They look after each other, we see each other through our good times and our hard times, and it just happens to be that fitness is the vehicle that kind of brings us all together.
The Dunedin Training Studio picked up a couple of prizes, including the Studio Facility of the Year and the Supreme National Fitness Studio Award. It's the third time the team has put their name forward. Columbus delighted with the result.
And we're the first women's facility to ever win the Supreme Award.
The Dunedin Training Studio opened 6 years ago and has around 280 members, all keen to keep on fighting to be the best. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on Southern Newsweek, Queenstown was alive with the heart and soul of Latin music recently as locals got their feet moving to the beat. And Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore gets a podium finish overseas with legendary Kiwi team McLaren. Tēnā koe, welcome back. Queenstown got a glimpse into the heart and soul of Latin dance recently as the city hosted a 3-day-long festival.
Moving their hips and feet to the Latin beat. Queenstown locals got the chance to show off their dancing and learn some new South American moves during the weekend's Latin Soul Festival. The city's Teatro Mera building was full of eager students, the festival starting 3 years ago with a simple goal.
And then we just wanted to introduce more things and more style and grow the community, and that's how the festival was born, really, just,
And connect with other dancers from around New Zealand as well.
Dancers soaked up as many tips as they could within the 3-day event, organisers believing the festival is a good chance for people to come together after years of COVID-19 restrictions.
And you get to connect with people that we couldn't connect with anybody for 2 years? So
properly.
now they can see and they can dance and they can enjoy something and have something in common. That most of these guys are from completely different backgrounds. They will never meet on a daily basis.
Lessons were forced to move into the car park after a fire alarm went off inside the building. Students and teachers unfazed, proving nothing was going to stop them from moving their feet. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A Dunedin resident celebrated her 100th birthday early last week, receiving a pleasant surprise. Not only did she receive a letter from the late Queen, but one's just turned up from the newly crowned King too.
Elsie Harriet recently celebrated her 100th birthday and is one of the last in the world to receive a card from the late Queen Elizabeth II. She was surprised a month later when she received another card, this time from the recently crowned King Charles III.
Oh, I'm privileged. I never expected this. In fact, I didn't expect to get to 100.
She's delighted as the Queen's card matches a similar one she received for her 60th wedding anniversary and has now completed the set.
He's going to pass this down and it's going to go down the family.
Her son Phil Herriot is pleased to see his mum turn 100 and for her to still be living life to the fullest. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore has become the first female to make the podium for the McLaren team alongside co-driver Tanner Faust. A strong performance by the pair in the Extreme E Series saw them claim second place in the season finale in Uruguay.
The Extreme E Championship revved back into action over the weekend in Uruguay. Dunedin-based McLaren driver Emma Gilmore and teammate Tanner Faust roaring back into contention in a series which uses electric off-road vehicles. Racing in the second semi-final heat, Gilmore got the pair into a handy position as one of her rivals literally rolled out of contention.
She's rolled and this is disaster for Axiona Science. Can she get going? She can!
Faust kept their Neum McLaren in second position, assuring them of a spot in the final. Competition was fierce, with all 5 teams fighting for position throughout the 4-lap race. The male drivers began the races for the teams before a switch to the female drivers. Faust had worked the car into second place at the switch, with Gilmore able to maintain that position during 2 frantic laps to claim a podium spot.
We did it! Finally on the podium! Amazing! Such a tough weekend, but we got there in the end, so just so happy for the team. It was an awesome effort.
Gilmore says the result was an amazing way to finish their first season, admitting she's never done racing as challenging as this, with changeable terrain and very little time on the track. McLaren team bosses praising the well-deserved second place as a great springboard into the next season. The South Today.
Pupils at Brockville Primary School were delighted to get a visit from some top local musicians. Players from the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra stopped by on their tour of Otago schools to perform some classics and show off some tricks.
Flutes, violins and a trombone. Players from the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra have pulled out all the stops for the kids at Brockville Full Primary School. The DSO are touring around southern schools bringing their instruments in an effort to get the pupils more engaged with classical music. The orchestra's flute player saying not all schools are lucky enough to have good access to music education.
Some of these schools, they don't have orchestras, they don't have instrumental tuition, so it's really about making sure the kids know what our instruments are, what we do, what an orchestra is, and hopefully also entertaining them.
The Brockville pupils were delighted by the funky trombone sounds and the selection of music performed by the group.
So it's a mix of classical music, but also music from TV and movies. I think there's some Irish music in there, and also our trombonist has been doing car noises.
The orchestra are continuing their tour around Dunedin schools with the aim of inspiring the next generation of classical musicians. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Farmers and families flocked to the annual South Otago AMP Society Summer Show in Balclutha last weekend. It's billed as the biggest community event of the year for the region, and there was something for everyone.
A fantastic variety of sights and sounds filling the Balclutha AMP showgrounds. Back for the first full summer show since COVID-19, the classic fairground rides and sideshows proved popular with the kids, alongside agricultural attractions such as these award-winning alpacas and plenty of ribbons for the best traditional livestock breeds.
Oh, absolutely amazing. I'm so pleased it's over because I'm tired, but the support we've received from the community and the public and the sponsors, it's just been overwhelming.
There were plenty of other ways to get involved too, including the annual competition for Queen of the Show.
I definitely would recommend it. It is an awesome experience. It just really brings you out your shell.
The showgrounds also hosted AMP show mainstays like sheep shearing and wood chopping. Show organisers say the family-friendly event attracted strong crowds, making it a roaring success. In Balclutha, the South Today.
A group of keen Dunedin golfers are preparing to tee off on a marathon challenge.
The group are aiming to complete 4 rounds of golf, that's 72 holes, in just one day. Starting at sunrise and golfing until the sun goes down, the group of friends say it's a chance to work on their technique and raise funds for a good cause.
The purpose is to raise as much money as possible for the Cancer Society. Cancer affects everyone in some way, so we can do our part and raise some funds, and the group quite enjoys golf too, so that's a bit of a bonus.
Crowder says his team will hit the green at the Otago Golf Club in Balmacewen on the 16th of December and hopes other teams will get involved over the summer. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And that wraps up this edition of Southern Newsweek. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.